Hello, hello, hello. Today, oh my gosh, how exciting. I'm talking about whether you have these or not, and it's really appropriate because I'm talking about boundaries. And lo and behold, puppies don't have boundaries. So he likes to jump up on everything. So here's Juno. He's now 4 months old and he has no boundaries. He doesn't understand boundaries. He is a gremlin. He doesn't take cues. He can't read the room. And now he's sitting on my lap because he's trying to jump up onto my desk. So, and Django is in here also behaving quite nicely. Django understands boundaries, but a 4-month-old does not. So that's what I'm talking about today. I just had a amazing weekend in my midterm mystery school. And so, can I put you down? Can I? Okay. Welcome to my life. This is live, people. This is live. Ouch. Okay. So, So today I want to talk about boundaries. So boundaries are your energy field. Okay. So we talk a lot about boundaries and oftentimes people don't really know what they are, but they're like flung around. We know it's some psych term or whatever. Sit. Good boy. Stay. Stay. Good boy. Now I can give this to you because you're being a good boy. Okay. Go and lay down. Look at all the vibes. Do you like my shirt? Anyway. To be continued. So, your boundaries are your energy field. And as empaths, as intuitives, as highly sensitive people, we are super fine-tuned to other people's energy fields. And so a boundary, you have to, it's like we have our aura, but we have different layers of our aura, right? So we have our physical body, which is actually interesting because it is very much related to the levels within your aura because we have different energy levels, so to speak. And so so with boundaries, we have 6 different types of boundaries. And the goal is that your boundaries should be pliable, right? So some people's are really, really rigid. Other people's are really, really loose, right? And so the rigid ones are like, I'm not letting anyone or anything in. The super loose boundaries are like, you're letting everything and anything in and you're picking up on stuff. And it's like, it's kind of like, I don't know, like you could go into a bar and pick up all like the dark energy that's in there, or like a haunted house, or like a, or people's emotional energy, right? And then you become like this energetic garbage dump, and it's just, and then you're like, why am I so weighed down? Why am I so exhausted? It's because you're letting everything into your boundaries, which are your energy fields, right? And so there are 6 types of boundaries, right? But your boundary, again, is your energy field. It's your aura. So we have physical, emotional, mental, sexual, time is another one, and spiritual boundaries, okay? And so essentially it's like what you're letting in to your space and what you're keeping out of your space. And you want to be able to let the good stuff in and keep the bad stuff out. Okay. I have a self-hypnosis, meditation guided journey that I believe is pinned on top, and it is now working. And, it walks you all through, learning how to open and close your energy field around certain people, around certain environments. And it's really kind of like this beautiful journey of like you being like this open lotus and this closed lotus, and then being like, okay, like, so if you know that you have to have like a conversation with your toxic boss, like you're going to close your lotus flower, right? So you're not letting in all of his shit or her shit, versus like, oh, I'm going to be like hanging out with my best friend in like this beautiful weather, and like your lotus is going to be more open, and it's because it's you feel safe around that person. And so the goal is that you want it to be pliable, okay? And so physical boundaries are basically like, is this person like literally like too much in your in your space, right? Or like, are you comfortable with hugs or a handshake? Or, you know, are you letting somebody use your toothbrush or not? Like, that's all physical boundaries. And then you have your mental and emotional boundaries, where it's like your emotional boundaries are, you know, if somebody's saying something that triggers you emotionally or psychologically or mentally, like, are you, you know, are you open, or are you able to shut those down and close your energy field to other people? With mental boundaries, it's also like, how open are you to other people's belief systems, right? Like, we are living in a world of duality and right and wrong and black and white, and you know, there's so much gray and in between space, right? And so it's like, I have learned that no matter what somebody, like, you can't change somebody else's belief system. Period. End of story. Like, you know, you're not going to, like, I believe in spirituality. I believe that that all of our answers are within. It's not out there, which is something I really kind of got on a really deep level in my mystery school this weekend, is like, it's not out there. What you're seeking, whether it's a relationship or like a purpose or whatever, is not out there. A connection to your higher self, it's all within us, and we're all connected, right? And we also want to protect our energy fields to make sure that we're feeling safe, and that we could trust our energy fields, our intuition, our extrasensory perceptions of people. And the way that we do this is by healing, okay? And so I'm kind of going back and forth. The spiritual boundaries are, again, like, you know, somebody's belief system, right? Or the intellectual or the mental one, it was really about like somebody else having different thoughts and opinions on something, and being open to it, right? And not shutting it down, because it's all perspective. Everything is perspective. And it's like, if you look at humans as like sun rays, or like in a kaleidoscope, like, everybody has a different perspective. Like, I had this experience, like, I have a group of friends and we hang out like all the time, and it's like my closest group of friends here. And one day we were sitting around the fire pit, and somebody said, I don't even remember what the story was about, but somebody said, oh, do you remember that time when? And there were literally 8 of us had a different recollection, a different perspective of that experience. And it was like, oh wow, here it is in play. Here is that kaleidoscope, is that we're seeing the world all through our eyes, through our traumas, through our experiences. And there is no right or wrong. There is no black or white, right? There is no it's all about perspective. And so, you know, it is about, like, you know, when it comes to somebody's beliefs or their thoughts and opinions, okay, you could let those come in and penetrate you if they're different from yours. Or you could be like, all right, you know, how open are you to somebody else's thoughts or opinions or spiritual beliefs, right? And so it's the more that we could kind of be in that impermanence and be detached from something that is different, that we might not get or understand, but might trigger us emotionally, the less suffering we're going to have. Okay. The other, the last, and then, there's sexual boundaries. I'm kind of just going through my list, and I know I'm kind of going off topic because when I'm in mystery school, and I also did like this amazing like trance session earlier today, I'm kind of like not in I'm in physical form, but I'm like not fully in physical form. So I'm kind of going all over the place, but if you know me, you are following. And so, sexual boundaries are also like, what you're open to, what you're not open to. Like, are you like, how are you with, like physical touch and consent, and not how are you with it, but like, you know what I mean? Like, we need to get consent, right? And so, and then the other important one I wanted to talk about was time. And time is, it's a human construct, right? It's based on the Gregorian calendar, and it's linear, but it's not really linear, right? Like all we really have are all of these present moments that's stacked up one against the other, again, on top of the other, on top of the other, on top of the other. But if you think about it, it is pretty circular, right? Because you have 12 o'clock, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then it goes back to 12, right? Even the calendar, January through December, right? And then it starts over again. But the only thing that's like linear are the years. And so everything is, everything is connected, quite honestly. And but getting back to the time, like how are you choosing to spend your time? Because I hear from so many people, oh, I don't have time for this, or I don't have time to meditate, or I don't have time for, moving my body, or whatever it is, and so think about how you're spending your time and how much time is spent doing things that you might not necessarily be choosing to do, and you've said yes, or you're overcommitted, or you're over working, or you're people pleasing, right? And so if you learned how to start to say no, take on less stuff, then you create the space and time for yourself. So one of the key things in this session that I just did was the message was learning how to, for my client, love herself first more than anything in the world. And she's married, she's got kids, she's got family, all the things, and friends, but what happens is all of that energy goes out to all of them, and there's a seeking of that love, and it's exhausting. And it's exhausting her, and her battery's drained. So the message in the session was learning how to love yourself first in this lifetime. So how are you learning to love yourself first? And I'm going back to boundaries, because that is such an important part of learning how to love yourself first. And so, and then going back to the whole energy field. See, I told you, like, I'm all over the place, but I'm going back to the beginning. So our energy field, so we have our physical self, and then we have what's called our etheric body, which is our, it's like a direct imprint of our physical selves, but it's energetic, and it's about 1/4 to 1/2 inch outside of our body. And so oftentimes, like if you're sitting across from somebody and they're behind like a white wall or something, you could see like this very small energy field. That is the etheric body. And so when we are working with hypnosis and in that trance state, like, yes, I'm working with you physically, but I'm also working with you on this etheric body, but as well as then we then have our emotional body, our mental, psychological body, and then we have our spiritual body, and it's all kind of encased within our aura. And so and they're all related to the energy centers within our body. And so we are these energy beings. And so we have to learn how to charge our batteries up so that we, as empaths and intuitives and deep feelers, we're the healers of the world. We are the revolutionaries. We are all here so that we could help shift the planet and humanity into one that's filled with love and connection. And so we can't do that on a soul level if we are constantly depleted and saying yes to all this extraneous stuff and basically saying no to our divine soul purpose. So that is what I wanted to share with you all today. And so I would love to hear your thoughts on what I was talking about. And I don't know why this isn't happening here. I don't know. I'm just now playing around with Facebook, which I'm going to stop doing. I'm going to stop touching stuff on my phone. And so, yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you all today. Again, I am, mark your days on your calendar, September 21st to 24th, out in Leavenworth, Washington. I've got a retreat happening. And as soon as I have more details, I will send it out. And if you're interested, just DM me or drop it here in the chat and I will send you information when I type it up. Get all that stuff ready. But it's September 21st to the 24th. It's going to be awesome. We're going to be at Hotel Leavenworth, which is our hotel, and then about 50 feet away there's this adorable sweet little house space that we're going to be doing all of the yummy retreat work stuff in, and there's going to be soul healings and group hypno and meditations and teachings, and it's going to be super, super yummy. So I'm super pumped for it, and that's all, folks. I just felt like that's funny. Okay. As you can see, I am in more than one space today, and I'd love to hear from you. So drop your goodness in the chats, and I will see you on the flip side. Oh, also, if you do want to have me pull a card for you, I could totally do that. So maybe I'll just I'll just do a different post, and then I'll say, hey, if you want your card read, drop your name in here, and then I'll pull a card for you. And I got a new set of cards based on my school this past weekend, and it is Past Life Oracle cards. So we could do the Starseed, or we could do the Past Life. So you just let me know. But I will do a different post on that, and I believe I'll probably do it on Wednesday. I think I have some time in the morning. Okay, I am rambling. I love you all. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.